I shall grab the link. Spam it everywhere. Heresy. Second in. Suicides. That's not how you spell suicide, Deadlight. Gosh, my delete. What the hell's wrong with my delete? My delete key seems to be stuck. There we go. Yeah, that's the scribbles I'm going to write this week. Community streams, post, and order Discordia announcements because someone decided that was a smart idea to give me that power. So hello and welcome to Dark Heresy 2nd Edition, Burning System Suicide Cells, Act 2, Session 9, Quadrant 16, Gamma, Charlie, Potato.
Start time. Start date.
Captain's Log 17.
Exactly.
I am your host and Dungeon Master, Deadlight. I am joined by Balto.
I'm playing Angelus Klimat.
I am joined by Gray.
Hello, I'm playing Sengo, the Inquisitor's Bloodhound.
I am joined by Rachel. I'm pinging everyone today. I am joined by Swimmer.
Hello.
Who is playing this character?
Scythia, Ravenstein.
Scythia. I will butcher everyone's names for about 3 weeks, and then I'll finally get around to saying them.
3 weeks? That's a good
Minimum.
estimate.
Minimum. And I am joined by... I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce your name. Ugurakov?
Rocked.
Right. I am playing Icarus Yagsby.
And last but not least, I'm joined by Serene.
Playing Zetar Rex, the best damn lizard pilot you'll ever meet.
He is also a dirty Xeno, so just ignore him half the time.
I wear a bitchin' hat, though.
Shoot the Xeno!
Shoot it.
Don't shoot the Xeno.
So I would normally
He
do
knows
so.
something.
Of course, chaos falls into the party immediately. So I would normally start with a summary, but I think I'm going to start a little bit different this time, because I have 3 new players, and yeah. Angelus, Scythia. Oh, fuck's sake! I've already butchered it. And Icarus. You are all on board the ship name that I thought Mr. E was going to come up with, and then he decided to drop out at the last minute, so sod my life.
Mr. E sheep.
Yeah. The Burning Mystery. There we go.
Yeah.
I like it.
You are currently sort of... Your latest task has been a bit of a chore, but you've been given the impression it's quite an important chore. You've been going around to various systems picking up items of curious nature. You've recently been you've picked up some unknown containment containers from one world, some backwater mining world. You've picked up a few unusual tomes from a few various hives. They've all been deemed heretical. And last but not least, you're coming to Fragmentum. Fragmentum is a large Mechanicus station in the Wrath Ring. The subsystem is known for its unusual warp anomalies. Fragmentum sits it's Tranquility Station. It sits above the planet Fragmentum. Fragmentum is constantly bombarded by warp storms, but Tranquility coats this by literally having Gela shields up most of the time. there's a few you've noted there are a few ships in orbit. One of which belongs to a rogue trader house you're not familiar with, and it's called the Gilded Promise.
It's very nice.
Oh, don't
Well,
lie to
what-
yourself. It's completely useless.
Yes.
I'm just locked in my cabin, just casually playing with my Psyfocus because I am a psyker and I don't want bad things to happen.
So yeah, why don't you three describe your characters, just so
Mm-hmm.
people who are watching and myself and new character and
Right. Icarus Yagby is from the Sterling Yagmies. He is a highborn who went into the administratum and maybe got caught greasing wheels for certain peoples and was kind of caught up in the whole in the fight against the heathens and the bad Xenos. He wears just his administrative robes. He carries a sword on his hip, and has a strange-looking gauntlet on his hand. He speaks down to those who are not highborn, which is kind of common. It's not going to be too bad.
Damn it, we just replaced the Seneschal. Damn it!
What did you
And
expect?
yeah, that's about Icarus. He's a wheeler and dealer. He knows people all over the system.
Well, we'll deal your ass up a piping hot stew of poison.
shush, you're
I'm
not in
joking.
this scene. Back to your box, you dirty Zeno.
Am I going?
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and go next.
Sure.
Scythia Ravenstein was born on Scintilla in the Calaxius system to a minor noble house. When she was about 10, her psyker powers started to manifest, and she was handed off to the Black Ships. After surviving the training on Holy Terra, she was picked up by an Inquisitor. It's just sort of like having a psyker, and she stuck around with him until his heresy trial, and then after being deemed not corrupted by his foolhardy, she got picked up by a radical Inquisitor who was a member of the Xenos Hybris. So along the way, she picked up some of the tenets of that branch of radical inquisitorial philosophy, and she became incredibly fascinated by Xenos, mainly like the lore stuff and like artifacts and just she's very interested in studying Xenos stuff. And so that's kind of how, and then along the way she kind of just got passed off from this Inquisitor to the current team. She
really gets passed around, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah, she does. She is a highborn psyker. She's dressed in a black cloak. Yep, she's dressed in a black cloak that's rather fine up. She has her sword. She has a sword with her, a staff, and she tends to spend a fair bit of her time just focusing on work. Just constantly studying, constantly improving, constantly gaining knowledge.
All right, then I'm next, I guess.
Yep.
Angelus is, in some people's eyes, would be described as a weakling, or maybe a nerd. Some people would call him. He's always busy with books in his hand or writing on papers and then just observing plants. He was raised by two rather famous scientists on his garden world. One was a biologist and the other was a I forgot the word. Herbalist. Wow, herbalist.
Chemist,
And
biologist.
herbalist and biologist.
Herbalist.
Yeah,
They're two different things.
They are.
Mhm.
One focused on how things work, and the other focused on plants. But being raised in that kind of environment inspired him to become an apothecary. When he was a young man, he was an apprentice to a local apothecary and learned a wealth of knowledge about how components from herbs work. This actually earned him the attention eventually from a large rogue ship that passed by and that asked for a huge shipment to be delivered to a warehouse near the spaceport. It didn't seem strange, so Angelus did as asked and delivered the whole goods. But when he arrived at the warehouse, the first thing he saw when the lights came on was a host of people with raised guns pointed at him. Then that man that came forward and introduced himself as a rogue trader offered him a choice. And it was actually a very inspiring quote for Angelus. It was, "Follow me, for I have use of your skill." The unsaid part didn't need to be said because the gun's cocked. So it was actually a hostage situation that led Angelus to be in the service of his Lord Inquisitor. And then he was attached to this current group of the Psyker and a Highborn that's constantly talking down to him as if he's stupid.
Okay, so yeah, I'll fill in a little bit of detail on your cell. You have never met your Inquisitor. You do know you work for the Inquisition. There's no, like, smoke and mirrors nonsense. You get the feeling you probably work for a more radical Inquisition, although you haven't really run into any of the other cells. You work for a Throne Agent, Aberrus Fell. And yeah, you are all... I don't want to do this. Sorry, I'm a little thrown off because I was meant to do this a completely different way, and then I had to completely scrap that because a player decided to not turn up. Yeah, as you're approaching the station, you hear a number of sirens go off on the ship.
By the Emperor, what's going on this time? I didn't do it, I swear.
Is it just a alarm, like a clearing alarm? Is it saying what the problem is?
It doesn't. You have heard this alarm once when you were you later found out that a Wolfpack raider had been spotted on the very far scanners, and the ship was put into battle ready mode. But you know you're in a safe system. Fragmentum is not Fragmentum. Tranquility Station is a very heavily defended station because it's a Mechanica station, and they have all the fun toys.
Oh yes.
So this alarm going off is a bit unusual.
I would say.
Well, there's something for the those who run the ship to take care of. Although if I do see somebody running by, I'll ask them what all the noise is about.
Yeah, you sort of just see like a petty. You have been stationed in the sort of junior officers area. but like in a more segmented area of it, so you can do your Inquisitor things. There are a few other agents. No, Throne. You're all Acolyte level, and you report to a Throne agent. There are a few other Acolytes about in the cell, but yeah, you do catch a sort of like petty officer running back, and he kind of shrugs and is like, I don't know, sir. Coup, maybe? I don't know.
Take care of it, will you?
Very well. And he runs off. Does anyone else do anything? Do they?
I will actually run after the guy that. I'm going to head towards where the alarms are centered on.
Well, this is a generalized battle stations alarm.
Oh, general special alarm.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought were specific deck.
It's not localized to a specific deck, as far as you know. You do have access to areas like the bridge, the engineer room, etc., etc.
And then I will actually head to the bridge.
Yeah, you have this sort of, yes, you have full access to the ship, but like try not to step on anyone's toes. Like we're still a void ship, so.
Yes. So basically, just want to head to the bridge to find out what's going on.
Anyone else? Anyone else wishing to head to the bridge?
I will follow.
Icarus just continues drinking his tea or whatever, reading a book.
You are literally exact replica of the last noble we had.
Sorry.
No, it's perfectly fine.
The comment about us swapping out the Seneschal was not a joke.
So yeah, the two of you make your way to the bridge.
It only takes half an hour to an hour.
You're actually located reasonably close to the bridge, and it's not like you're on a particularly big void ship. It's a small smuggler's transport.
Which is still several kilometers long.
Probably, yeah, it's still several kilometers long, but you're not trying to get to the warp engine, which is at the rear. A lot of facilities on a smaller ship tend to be located together. A lot of the space that void ships need is for the warp engine. So, you know, unless you want to go there.
No, I don't know. Because things near the warp is bad.
But yeah, you make your way to the bridge, and you see a number of officers. They mostly seem like sort of petty officers. They're all sort of standing around outside the main doors of the bridge. The doors are closed.
So I will approach one with actually a question gaze and what's going on here?
He turns to you, gives you like a confused, like sort of annoyed look of like, who the hell are you? Because there are there are some minor passengers on the ship, but no one important. Realizes who you are, straightens up immediately, kind of gives you a sort of half salute as he like tries to correct himself, and goes, we don't know, sir. Suddenly the battle station alarm fires. We all rushed into position, and we just found the bridge doors locked. We haven't been able to make contact.
Is there? Do we know if there's in character? As a character, do we know if there's a technical access panel to the doors, or it can only be opened from the inside?
You could give me a tech use test, if you like.
Yes,
Either character standing there, or a logic test.
I'd both. No, I'm not really familiar with ship technology.
Like, yeah, you've been on the ship, but like, why would you know where the door panel access is to the bridge? It's not like you've actually been in combat on this ship, or needed to do that.
No.
So yeah, what do you do? The two of you then.
I turn to Cynthia.
Scythia.
Scythia. Sorry, I will always pronounce it Cynthia now.
Alright.
Cynthia, it's all the same.
Fair enough.
I mean, I could also just call you Homo sapiens, but you wouldn't like that.
Person!
Humanoid 92. You are
Okay.
the 92nd humanoid that I know somewhat more about. How are you?
Okay, so, yeah, you turn to Skilthia.
Any ideas?
I get this nagging suspicion that if the alarm went off, but they can't get to the bridge, then someone's already here. Something strange is definitely going on. That much is obvious. Now we just need to figure out what exactly it is.
Wait. Actually, I have an Auspex. Could be used to scan through the door.
Give me an awareness
Let's
test.
use it.
Yeah. Okay, give me an awareness test plus whatever the modifier is for using your specs. And then
I
give me a
think-
tech use
I think
test.
I think it's a plus 20.
Is it just normal? It's plus 20. I think it's good quality gives you plus 30.
No, that's Jesus.
Uh,
No, way too
Unfortunately,
thick
the
doors.
yeah, unfortunately the blast doors are down, so... do you want to give me a tech use test as well? Just a flat one to see if you pick up anything odd on the specs.
Yes, I do.
Yeah. You kind of like scanned and you can't really pick up much. You try fiddling with the things. You notice there's an odd reading coming from the bridge. You can't quite tell what it is though.
Cydia, look at this. What do you make of this?
Well, what exactly are we looking at? Like, what kind of odd reading are we looking at?
You're the psycho, right? I mean, it's going to take me a little while. To
Yes,
get
I am.
You kind of look at this and between your sort of just natural attunement to the warp and this odd reading, you suspect that there's something warpy going on the bridge. You do have Vox communication between the lounge and the bridge.
Okay.
You also
yeah,
all, you all have microbeads. I cannot be asked to deal with people not having microbeads half the time.
fair enough. No, yeah, I would want to call up the bridge. Say, bridge. Why are these alarms still sounding?
No response.
Bridge. This is Acolyte Icarus Yagsby speaking. What is going on?
No response.
Okay, I will hit the comm and connecting to my group, to Angelus and Scythia. I'm getting no response from the bridge. What's the situation?
Well, currently, the blast doors are down and the officers can't get to the bridge.
If your Royal Highness would deign to show his face here, he would know.
Damn!
Mr. GM,
Already starting. Yes.
I was actually going to ask if I could make a sinus science test to see if I could see, since I'm getting a warpy feeling.
Sure.
I just want to sort of like get more, like sort of see like what kind of, kind of what kind of feeling I'm getting, exactly.
Yeah. You may. For
Thank you,
sinus
Rex.
tests like this, where you're trying to reach into the warp and feel presences and stuff, warp there. If you roll a double, you do cause psychic phenomena, like casting a psychic power.
Mm-hmm.
Because this hasn't ended poorly for me in the past.
Yeah, last time it happened, it sent your resident psyker into a Tyrellian body.
God,
That
that
never
session was a mess.
Yeah,
You're
but
proud.
it was a great plot hook for now that we are waiting on the main campaign.
Yes, it is. So yeah, you may roll me sinus.
66, 66.
Crap.
Doubles.
You
I'm
do know how to
trying
use
to-
character sheets, right?
I'm clicking on it, but nothing's happening.
But there's a small pop
okay,
that
yeah.
happens.
If you click on it, it should come up with a small box.
The character sheet might be popped out in front of it.
Yeah. Um,
Is there any modifiers?
no. Just as a heads up, do not put a plus into that box for the modifiers.
Okay.
Because if
You
you
should
do,
also
it
get your
will
side
break the
focus.
character. Oh yeah, you should get your
Yeah.
sorry.
Right. It's a good thing that I keep that on my person.
A good psyker never leaves home without it. A dedicated psyker hasn't melded into their body. Not saying I ever thought about doing that at one point.
Lose into
So
the-
this adds a. So this will add 10 to that then.
Yes, I believe so.
Aw. 220 higher, man.
Oh man, 2 more lower. Damn. No. So you reach out onto the bridge. And you feel it does not feel comfortable in your mind. There seems to be 2 focal points. It's hard. It seems to be like something's drawing warp energy in. There is also some minor, like, you wouldn't say they're psychers, but they are probably psychically sensitive or some other way. They're not like full-blown psychers, but they certainly don't feel like normal presences.
Mhm.
And you sort of have to like reel back your mind because it's very uncomfortable and you don't want to wake up whatever's there. And as you do, you feel there's a second psychic presence on the ship. Well, there's a new psychic presence on the ship, should I say. The ship does have 6 astropaths on board, 5 of which are the ship's normal astropaths that do 5-hour shifts on a 25-hour day, which is standard for void ships, and the 6th one is an Inquisitor dedicated one, which communicates with other Inquisitor agents and such. They don't like to let common astropaths deal with Inquisitor stuff.
And probably also Navigator.
Yes, there is a navigator on the ship, sorry, I forgot about them. They're up in their navigator spire.
Hey, you know them filthy navigators?
Shush. But the new psychic presence is odd. It seems to be... Again, it seems to be like accumulating warp energy. This presence is coming from the cargo hold.
So the presence that's accumulating is coming from the cargo hold, and then there's a second presence aside from the astropaths and the
Yes.
aside from the
So, yeah.
astropaths and the navigator.
There's 2 new psychic presence. One is on the bridge, which are unusual, and the other one is also in the other one is in the cargo. The cargo hold one doesn't seem to be accumulating as much, but it feels like there's more of them. Like they're minor, but there's like maybe a dozen of them, and they're not in just one hold. They're scattered about through the various holds of the ship.
Do you
That's
relay this
interesting.
information?
Yep, I do relay this information. And additionally, I'm curious on what was in this, on like sort of if there are any shipping manifests that sort of say what maybe this cargo is, because if there's a malicious warp presence, and I'm detecting other ones, then I need to know what the cargo is because there's a chance that cargo is drawing something in.
Okay. I'll do.
At least that's my suspicion.
Yeah. Okay. I'll do your suspicion first. There is a cargo manifest. However, it has been kept with your throne agents. Simply because he doesn't trust the... well, this isn't technically an inquisitorial crew. This is a rogue trader's crew which he has commandeered. Which is not unreasonable. And, void ships can have several thousand people, and it's quite hard to get several thousand people who you trust.
Especially as an inquisition.
Yeah, so generally they'll have like 1 or 2 trusted officers, and then the rest will just have to lump it and not know anything. As for the door, you try to override the door control. However, when you do, it immediately starts throwing up warnings saying there's been a hull breach, and there is 0 atmosphere on the bridge.
No, then I stop. And I will note that on my combi. I'm being told that there's a breach on the bridge. Is there any way you can verify that?
The easiest way is to go outside the ship and just walk over to the bridge.
Sadly, we did not take the mag boots or the void suit.
Yes.
Well, that's why I'm asking the other 2 to verify it.
Yeah, I just got a really funny story about mag boots. So I had one session of a trader where they weren't rogue traders, they were just like officers on the ship, and they were doing like an investigation onto various crimes on the ship. And I made them go through so many hoops to get these mag boots. They get into the airlock, neither remembered to turn them on, and I was like, cool, both of you give me an agility test to not get thrown out into the void. Sorry, I couldn't help that.
Nice.
But yeah, no, the 2 of you have been told that you're not to get the bridge is atmosphereless. What do you do?
I asked one of the officers there, do you know who was on the bridge before the alarm went off?
He kind of thinks for a moment. Well, let's see. I think it would have definitely been the Voidmaster. He always does the docking. The captain was most likely there. I think the Lord Throne Agent was there as well. He thinks for a moment. Now you mention it, it seems like most of the senior staff were on the ship. This is
dear.
The only person who I don't believe was on the bridge was the Engine Seer Prime, but then he rarely leaves the plasma reactor. That would make you the senior staff, so? Technically? Shrug?
Well, I believe... Well, we need to... we'll need to meet with the Engines here Prime, and... well, I'd say the first order of business is to meet with the surviving members of the senior staff, as well as I would say get in touch with the astropath and the navigator and inform them of the current situation. See if they are feeling anything, and then we will see about getting something set. We'll see about getting a void suitable. There's a potential hull breach on the bridge, and at this time it would be wise for us to get a void suit or a void suitable team together in order to investigate the bridge.
Very well, so I shall get on it. And he kind of turns to the others, who are just sort of like, most of them have just been sort of milling around, not sure what to do, because this doesn't happen. And he kind of goes, "You heard him. Shoot! Get the other senior staff. Shoot! Shoot! Go! Shoot!" And like herds them away like sheep. So yeah, you call down the astropath. Do you call down your astropath, or do you call down the astropath, or all the astropaths?
It'll be all the astro. I'd say all awake astropaths.
Okay. Yep. They're all awake because the alarms are kind of annoying.
Do we
Ends
have a comm connection with the navigator?
You have a combination to his spire, and he will come down if you ask.
Well, the question is, are we currently traveling in the warp?
No, you have dropped out of warp. You dropped out of warp quite
Okay.
recently.
So then I asked the navigator if he could join myself, my colleagues, and the astropaths in a conference room.
Yep. As you contact the astropath, the Inquisitor astropath, he responds back. He goes, "We've been hailed by another ship. It's turns out it's Inquisitor. They're requesting to send a team on board."
Okay. Do the credentials check out?
Yindafal Inquisition, Throne Agent Magos Arix. Do you wish to allow them on board?
I would say at this time, I would say at this time that we have a situation that we are currently dealing with. We are not able to receive guests. If they would like to provide assistance with this matter, then that will be duly appreciated.
Very well. Shall I send them into the conference room, sir?
Yes, please.
And so you maybe
Actually, that's good. If they're coming aboard, that's good news, because then they could tell us if they saw a hull breach near the bridge.
That's true.
So yeah, there is, as you sort of get to the conference room, there is a bit of commotion. It seems the ripple of what the hell's happening is scattering throughout the ship. No one knows what's going on, but the battle station alarm is turned down a bit, but like the ship is bathed in red lights and it still drones on in the background. It doesn't ever stop. At least now you're not being deafened every 30 seconds.
What?
I informed the officer that I gave the orders to, that we have. I just informed them that another ship has hailed us and is sending over a team of individuals to parlay with us. They are not to be shot at, but to maintain order to the best of your abilities, and just all around ensure the security of the ship.
So as you guys go to this conference, I will switch over to the other party, who have been sitting here patiently.
Don't worry, just cooking a bitchin' ass steak.
Serene,
yeah.
Gray, and Rachel.
Yeah, I'm here.
So last session we ended off. You were going to investigate the servitors. However, it was quite late, and so you went back to your quarters. In the morning, you are informed by Arix that there has been a new void ship in the system, and that something's off.
Can you tell us more, Priestess?
Yes, our astropath is detecting unusual warp signatures coming from it. They're very minor, but he is very skilled at detecting such things. They're
Warp signatures he has seen before?
unfortunately he has.
Of course,
Tell
it's
us.
warp. Yeah, what's going on? No cat. No. Get back in the oven.
Yes, he detected such signatures very faintly on the system of Heros 4.
Spirits preserved.
I don't believe I need to tell you any more about this. I have asked our astropath to contact theirs, and I am highly advising you to get on board that ship and deal with this before it gets into the system.
Sita, get your shuttle ready. We will try to save as many as we can.
You assume it isn't already ready. I prep it every day.
Sure, whatever. So yeah, the three of you fly over. Actually, no, it's not the three of you, it's the five of you. Romulus and Ren are also coming with you.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, you know what, screw it, I'll throw Julian on there as well.
Throw on everyone.
Throw in all the
Tell me he
PCs that
dies!
left. Throw in all the PCs
Yeah.
that left. Because, god damn it, I have a lot now.
I will kill them all eventually.
You can kill them quite easily, if I wish. So yeah, the six of you land in the Burning Mysteries hangar bay.
Mhm.
A
I hope
junior
they don't
officer.
question the Xeno ship.
They do give you some very strange looks, but you're from a rogue trader fleet, so they
I just
can't
flick
really
my hat
say
at 'em.
much. Yeah. They do give you some very odd looks, but the sort of officer salutes and says, if you would follow me, which one of you is Magos Arax?
She didn't come.
We are here on her orders.
Yeah.
Very well. I shall show you to the conference room then. The others are waiting for you. And Rachel.
Zitar's gonna bring, like, a meal that he already had ready. He always has a meal ready.
Weird little Xeno.
Look, you never go talk to people without food. It's rude.
Yeah.
Rachel, can you give me a Sonosins, please? You have no idea what's happening on here. There's too much warp residue from when they've dropped out of warp quite recently.
Mhm.
So it's quite hard to work out. There's a lot of sort of residue. I thought you were going to go to the conference room with like everyone else. Icarus.
Well, do I know that they're going to the conference room?
Yes.
Okay, yes, then I would go to the conference room, sorry.
Yeah.
Damn noble.
Yeah.
So yeah, in the conference room there is a few of the senior junior officers, your fellow throne agents, of this cell, which I am going to name,
Resurrection cell.
no, shush,
The opposite of suicide.
shush,
No, that doesn't work out.
I'm going to name it Blackheart cell.
Mhm.
Blackheart?
Blackheart.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's about 6 or 7 throne agents in total, including you three. The 6, the 6 astropaths. The 5 of the ship wear sort of very similar robes, whereas the Inquisitor's one sort of wears like more of a stylized armor. And he holds himself higher as well.
Okay.
Navigator's there. The Engineer Prime has not come because he's working on the plasma reactor. But
Right.
he has sent a servitor with a camera.
Mhm.
Fucking Magoses, man.
Yeah,
Shush.
why not? Who can, can.
Why not?
Fucking
I can.
Magoses.
It's a.
Yes,
it's
sir.
got like. It's got like a It's got like a TV screen and a camera, and you can just. Yes. And you can just see like the Magos is currently like working on the plasma reactor. He's like,
I'm just imagining Wally with the TV built into his stomach.
Mhm.
yes.
Pretty much. I mean, the Magos has probably the mind to be in, to be working, to be repairing a plasma reactor and holding a boring conference at once.
It's not
But
repairing.
he-
It's just maintaining. But
Yeah,
yeah.
okay, yeah, but he has not the body to be in two places at once. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly, Fleo.
Dude. But
And yeah.
fucking Magoses.
Yeah.
And sort of, as you're sort of like settling down, the junior officer you were talking to before enters, and he is followed by 6 individuals. One is sort of a tall. He holds himself like a noble. He's wearing a very well-tailored suit, and just has an air about him. He's walking with a cane, very stylized cane. The second is he's not hunched, but he's sort of wearing like ragged clothes. There's traces of orange and whites underneath them, but it's like it might have once been a uniform, but it's impossible to tell now. The next is sort of just wearing not priestly robes, but sort of in the vein of them. They're quite dark, and they look like they're being designed to be able to move fast. Finally, the 3 PCs, who can introduce themselves.
Followed shortly beyond them is a about 5 foot tall reptile. If you have any knowledge of Xeno, you'll probably easily be able to figure out he's an Arcula. He has light blue scales, wearing about a maroonish purple jacket and hat. Various other clothes like shorts, shirt, and a small little vest underneath it. He's carrying a plate of insert food here. Mostly meat.
Croissants. Meat croissants.
Croissants with some meat
For
between them.
reference, Arclas are slightly... they're not short, but they're a bit shorter than human lizards. They have very fine scales. Yeah, that's a very good example of... that is one, actually. But most of them don't have the wings. And if you know anything about them, they are obnoxiously happy-go-lucky. They're quite like friendly and like, oh yeah, we'll totally be like, give everyone the benefit of the doubt, etc., etc. They're quite nice and friendly. They were recently a slave race, but they were able to overthrow their masters.
One thing you forgot is they're also mostly merchants.
Yeah, they're more of a mercantile race as well. Yes, but
They are known as merchants and artisans.
But they're still sort of established themselves. They've only really been free for the last 20 to 30 years, so... yeah.
Then the next individual is rather tall and broad-shouldered. He is slightly hunched over, maybe. He's wearing a cloak over his... basically concealing himself a little. But as he pushes back... has the hood pushed back for now, and you would see that he has a bit of a greenish skin tone, and his hands that also show from his sleeves are quite massive and clawed. So he doesn't quite look like a Xeno as such. He has mostly human proportions and facial structure. So you would guess either a small, either some form of abhuman or mutant. He just goes silently as he enters.
Okay.
And last but not least is Rachel. No, Flavia. Sorry.
I think she's typing it up now, so give her a moment.
Yeah.
And she's tip-tapping away.
Yeah.
Tipple tapple.
So yeah. Flavia wears what looks like a cross between a trench coat and a French noble suit. Her hair is quite long, and her eyes are essentially 2 light blue dots. Her fingers have rings on all of them, and one of the most notable being a ring with right gems on it. 8 gems on it. Sorry.
With right gems, only the ones taken from the right side of them.
Yeah, I don't know what my brain was thinking when I tried to read that. And with the war, she wears a necklace with the symbol of a penchant. Sylphia, you would instantly know that she is a psyker. Astropath, I believe, Rachel?
Yes.
Yes.
I can tell you that one. I remember from the very, very long scene we did in what's it called now?
It's a Gilded
Promise. Yes.
Gilded Promise.
Mhm.
The conference room is now a little bit on the crowded side, but it's a large conference room. There's enough space.
Mhm.
So,
So at this time, I'd say we do. Like I would say, I would imagine that we all sort of introduce ourselves. Credentials are swapped, and basically, like once sort of we're able to determine that yes, we all work for the Inquisition. We can begin.
This is not hard.
Plate of food.
Yeah, this is not hard to establish.
No, not at all. But just official procedure.
Yes. Yes.
So-
Sorry for interrupting there, but as you approached the ship, did you notice a hull breach?
Did we?
You can give me an awareness test to see if you did.
Would I get a bonus for being the pilot?
Yeah, you can have +10.
Nice.
I
Is
might have with 3 degrees, 2 degrees.
You notice no hull breach.
Hmm?
I didn't notice shit.
You were so busy flying.
Yeah.
Too many
Did
readings.
notice, now you think about it, you did notice there was a bit of an odd, like, blackish green light coming from the bridge, but, like, not...
Does that 100?
My
That one,
God.
does that equal fucking
is-
phenomenon?
I
No.
mean, no.
Ah, but double zeros.
Rachel, Flavia did not notice the ship until they were on board of it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sorry.
we docked? Yeah, that's what the sudden
I
jolt
got-
was.
I don't know how to critically fail
Awareness.
awareness.
She gets one of the harmless things of phenomenon. The air kind of stinks around her and it blows a little bit.
No.
I would imagine that basically, like every single psyker in the room, like gets a massive headache.
Yeah.
She gets a warp fart, basically.
Yeah.
So what brings you to our ship? We are having some issues and would like to get to work on them.
Those issues are what brings us to your ship.
Yeah, do you guys need people pulled off? Because my ship can hold a few people. Probably not the whole crew, but a few go backs and forth.
One of the junior officers... No, we have lost communication with the bridge. And there seems to be some weird energy signatures from the hull. What do you know about it? Because apparently you seem to know more about it than us.
I did not see any hull breaches as we traversed the sky. Your bridge, the hull on your bridge is fine, but there are lights in there we've seen before, which means you have monsters on board.
Because
Don't look at me.
Yeah,
just
I actually haven't really looked at you. It's more like an unfocused gaze at you, like, yes, you.
No,
Hobo
worse than
mutantis.
me or Xita.
Yes, Homo
Yeah.
mutantis. It's fine.
Then we should be able to open the doors without danger.
I
from
cannot
what
say
we-
without danger.
Yeah, what we know is Arg has noticed some warp phenomenon going on in there, so maybe someone did something stupid, like summoned a demon. I don't know.
What?
I say that
Why are you-
completely joking.
Okay,
See,
yeah, you don't joke about demons. That's like...
Yes. This is a bad joke, Xita.
Eh,
We have encountered warp signatures like the ones on your ship before. They belong to a sort of invasive, murderous xenospecies which tends to infest planets and annihilate anything living on them.
So you came equipped to kill them.
We came equipped to evacuate this ship and then destroy it.
Well, before you do that, in addition to the phenomenon on the bridge, there are a number of signatures that I detected throughout in a number of cargo holds.
This is not unheard of. Those creatures seem to form cults amongst the native population of their host world, which then gathered bodies to feed the hatchlings of those monsters.
I will like to interject here. The 3 acolytes of Blackheart Cell, you know that there's not just the crystals on board, which, you know, they're strange containers. You do also know there are other valuable artifacts to the Inquisition. Like, blowing up the ship might not be the smartest thing.
Yeah. So I say, well, that is definitely sound, and I would normally agree with this course of action, despite losing the opportunity to research the species. But regardless, this ship is carrying more than is carrying artifacts that are deemed of value to the Inquisition. Unless we can move those, we cannot scuttle this ship.
Of course, it's never easy.
Then
Well, if your ship can transport quite a bit of commodities, you might be able to get them out here.
The thing our ship does most is waste a lot of space. Oh, there's definitely space we can find. That thing is wonderfully useless.
Sita, he was talking about your shuttle, not the Gilded Promise.
Yes, sadly.
So
My shuttle is not that
your,
big.
your shuttle is a waste of space. Got it.
Rude.
Oh my gosh, Balto is on fire.
I'm loving it. Like, I ain't got anything. Damn.
Sita, bring out as many of those people as you can. I will join up with those acolytes to save the artifacts if they are of interest to the Master, as they seem to be of interest to the Master. We will join up with you later.
You really think it's a good idea to go into a cargo hold with the spooky aliens you've seen?
It seems we do not have that choice to make.
Better your life than mine.
Regrettably.
Yep, I'll be right behind you.
So,
Well, not
who am I
right behind
transporting
you.
back first?
Crew.
Anybody?
Our drone agent, maybe?
I would say
Yeah, him too.
the surviving important crew. We will keep a number of officers on board to help groups navigate.
Yeah. So, probably the first evacuation would be Astropath. The Astropath Choir, not the Inquisitor or Astropath, he'll most likely stay on the ship because he can communicate with the Guild's Promise without raising suspicion with the Mechanicus. The Navigator. You might want to go try and convince the Engineer Prime to leave his hole to evacuate him. There's some minor senior staff who fill, like archivists and stuff like that. Some of the remaining throne agents of Blackheart are not. They're more like accountants, if that makes sense. They were here on this cell to help with cataloguing and archiving the artifacts, and are not. They weren't going to stay in the cell once you reach Blackheart, so they will go as well. So, how many seats are your?
You already know we have not statted it because we can never.
Yeah.
We keep forgetting. So it's as many as you want to give it.
How many were you thinking?
It's a small shuttle, primarily used to transport cargo. It's been modified more for movement. About 12 crew?
12 passengers?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that would be filled in. No, well, yeah, 12 passengers plus some minor cargo. hold.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
So
enough for-
most of the passenger stuff is just, you can either shove cargo in there or people.
So yeah, a few of the people will have to stand, but that is probably better than being on a ship with those things.
Yes, bearing in mind void ships have like 5,000 crew, but oh well,
Mm.
at least.
This is a small shuttle meant for
Yeah.
people, not an entire ship.
Yeah.
So I guess we should go into those of us who are not taking that first trip ought to go to the cargo bay and see about getting our last few months of work to safety.
One of the senior officers, the sort of the one you've been liaising on with, it goes, a lot of that cargo is quite bulky, and what if it's actually valuable? I don't know what we were transporting, but maybe some of it isn't as valuable as other artifacts? Question mark?
That's for the Inquisitors to decide. Is it not?
I suppose so, sir. I was just saying, his ship is very small, and I don't think it could transport much cargo.
Probably not if it's very big. The ship I used was mainly for very small recoveries. It was not intended for any large finds.
Are we
Well,
near?
do we have a shuttle?
Yes.
How did we get the things into
Yeah,
the...
you've got some large grade. You got some like large grade hauler shuttles that can do it. You've got 2 on the ship.
Okay.
But even then, it would be a lot of work to get all the cargo off the ship, just that way.
What was it? Sengu, right? How long you have experience with these things? How long do you think we have before we have to ban a ship?
I cannot tell before I've seen the nests. That's the eggs themselves, but
Which would be in the cargo hold.
where we are going to anyways.
Yes.
I would prefer to get out rather sooner than later, since their astropod can already see them or feel them. They must be about to hatch.
And as soon as they've hatched, how long do we have? How fast will they take over the ship?
When they are hatched, the area where they hatch, the cargo hold, as you say, and the bridge, will not be traversable anymore. Even a fresh hatchling that was weakened by the destruction of the egg, before it was ready to hatch itself, took multiple bolter shots, shotgun blasts, autoguns and even then did not die fast.
I see.
When they hatch, it's better to leave the place. So let us hurry.
Yes.
Indeed.
So, you are all going to the cargo hold? Everyone except Zangief. Not Zangief, what am I saying? Rex.
Hitler.
Zeta.
Yeah.
Zangief just steals the shuttle.
Suddenly,
Isn't that- Isn't that the character that like fucking flying suplexes bears or something?
yes.
There's a sparrow egg between thighs.
Mm.
There you go. I'm okay with this. I'll become Zangief.
No.
That guy's practically a fucking space
I
marine
believe
with how
the
big he is.
phrase is crush skulls like sparrow eggs his thighs. Or something stupid like
Yes.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
If it lets me survive longer, sure, I'm Zangief.
It won't let you survive longer.
I mean, Sengo was rather inspired by Blankas and Zangief, but
Oh well.
same franchise.
Eh, what's the difference? One's green, one's white. Whatever.
And now he is rather dark-skinned for Russian.
So,
Anyway,
you get to the cargo hold. It's a large chamber. There's a number of catwalks above. There are several large containers on the lower decks. And yeah, you look down. You're currently on the catwalks. You cannot see any crew down there. You can't even see servitors anymore.
Are the lights on or off?
The lights do not help because they are in a uncomfortable red light, and they cast
Well,
liquid shadows everywhere.
Would it be a good time to mention that I have the photo visors?
Yes. You glance down there. Can you give me an awareness,
Be-
test, please?
be prepared to see a pile of corpses with an odd crystal sticking out of it.
Awareness.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, is this those fucking spider things?
Failed by one.
Yeah, no, that's fine. You look down there and you see one of the containers is open.
One of the containers is open.
Do you know what was in this container?
I don't think. Well,
because no one's been bothered to go get the flipping cargo manifest.
Do we have the cargo manifest?
No.
no, because it's in the bridge. No, it's in the drone agent. It's for the drone agent. We just send our drone agents away.
No, you didn't.
And
No. Your throne agent
Un-
was on the bridge.
yeah, our throne agent was on the bridge.
Oh, right. I thought it was in his quarters. So drone agent is on the bridge, which we cannot access.
I said the cargo manifest would be in his quarters. I've tried to hint this several times.
So sorry, I understood that he would be carrying cargo manifest because it would contain information that nobody
That's how I
should see.
interpreted it.
Well, I mean, no one's checked his. Okay, yeah, that's probably a logical thing, but no one has actually checked his quarters.
Well, in between
Well,
these guys.
I will
working on-
volunteer to go to his quarters and check for that while you deal with this. And I holster my las pistol and
Oh yes.
head on out.
What a valiant highborn you are.
Then
It's called
run,
delegation.
Seneschal.
So yeah, I'm gonna head on in that direction, in the direction of the throne agent's quarters.
Yep, you get to the door. The door is locked.
I'll try to override the lock.
How?
Tech use is that
Sure.
something? Can I?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you have security?
I do not have security.
I'm going to say tech use at -20 then.
Minus 20. Okay,
Yes.
I can do that. Or I can't do that.
Shockingly, the throne agent has designed a door that open.
Shockingly, yes.
Shocking.
Indeed.
Surprise,
You might-
surprise.
You might want to try the good old ganger style of just kick the fucking door open.
It's a metal door.
Spaceship? I doubt that.
It's fine.
Okay.
Just use the last pistol and blow the lock off.
That would work.
Yeah. Do I know how shocking would affect the locking mechanism?
No. You can give me an intelligence test to try and guess.
Okay.
You have no idea. It's a door. It runs on electricity. Could work, could not.
Alright.
Delicious.
Then I am going to aim my gauntlet, my Electrolas gauntlet at it, and let it fly.
Unlimited power! Sorry. That's the entire thing of that gauntlet. Can you give me a damage roll, please?
Okay.
You zap the door. The door sparks. And then it just shuts off.
It shuts off as in...
The door kind of just switches off.
Okay,
You
can
press
I...
the button, it does nothing.
It does nothing, so I just broke it, what you're saying.
Maybe.
Do I see any crew running around?
Not really here, because again, you're back in your...
Oh,
history
right.
area.
Yeah, I'll just try to push it open with my brute, weak muscles.
Strength test.
It always comes back to the ganger way.
With a strength of 25 or something like that.
28.
Weaker than me.
You put your shoulder in. It opens. You feel very achieved.
All
You
right.
don't suspect. You
I
don't suspect
told
at all
you.
that the door might have just been unlocked because you broke the lock.
Oh.
No, you definitely showed that open, like with all your strength.
Good work, team.
Ah.
Look,
Yes.
I told you. It always works if you brute force it.
All right. Yeah, so I'm going to go in and try to find the manifest. I'm sure it would be in his desk somewhere or well hidden.
Well, first off, you're in a. It's sort of like. It has like an on like a. What is it? What is the outside chamber? What would the outside chamber be called? Antechamber.
Antechamber.
It's like an antechamber. That's the word.
Okay.
It has like a small antechamber. You have been in here before. This is sort of like his private meeting hall.
Okay.
You know this room to be sealed off. Very like. There's a small hologram projector in the middle, and there's a few doors off to one, like off the each side of the room.
Okay. And there's, I'm guessing he doesn't have it in this room, so I'm going to check the first door on my left.
Okay, on the left is his bedroom. It's quite a nice room actually. You feel like if this was for, you get the impression this is like styled after a feudal world castle, sort of a king's castle off a feudal world. Like the walls are literally have like rough stone bricks, like very wooden like 4-post bed in the middle.
I may come back to this, but I want to check find his office first, so I'm going to go to the next door, going clockwise.
Again, this room is styled like a castle, but more of a bit more homely. There's a fireplace. Currently, there's only a few embers crackling there. Number of bookshelves.
Does it look like a study or a work area, or just a
Yeah.
lounge?
No, it's more of a study. It's like a mix between
Okay.
both. Like, there's a few
Okay.
chairs by the fireplace, but there's also a desk in one corner. You know, like a
Right.
big, fat. It's like polished mahogany with gills. It's not like untasteful.
Okay. I'm going to go to the desk and see if open drawers, looking for the manifest.
You open the drawers. There's some data slates and papers, but they all seem to be mundane things, like various day-to-day things on the ship.
Okay.
Your bios, sort of on the various acolytes in his cell. There's about 20 in total.
I'll take those.
Okay.
Wait, 20? That's a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll take the ones with the bios at least.
Okay.
And okay, were there any locked drawers
No.
in the desk? No. Okay. I want to search to see if there are any secret compartments in here.
Awareness or scrutiny?
Let's see.
You look around the room. At first you're like, maybe there's a secret compartment. You realize, like, as you're sort of like looking over, putting various things on the desk, you realize it makes a small click sound. you sort of push everything off the middle of the desk. Get out your. Do you have a knife or something?
I have a sword, but
Okay, you're doing this with
I-
a sword then. It's just
I don't
silly.
have a knife. Sorry.
So you
You
sort
have
of
a
like.
knife? Sword.
You know how like office desks have that green felt in the middle.
Yes.
You use your knife to cut along that. Your sword, sorry, to cut along that, and you realise that that's actually metal underneath there, not wood. You then use your sword to like pry at the edge, and it takes a bit of work because it's kind of an odd angle,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't know the mechanism. But eventually, you sort of like crack it open, and there is a very fine cogitator built into the desk.
I'm sorry. A cogitator.
Yes, a computer.
Oh, okay.
Well, cogitator is just the 40k term for computer. Like
right.
Vox is the 40k term for radio, because 40k is stupid.
Indeed. Then I'll try to log on.
You don't seem to be able to like you like press the button. It's like just comes up with an Imperial Inquisitorial eye.
Look, we need the cargo manifest. This wouldn't be vocally activated, would it?
You could try.
Can I try to mimic the voice of our throne agent?
Do you have the talent mimic?
No.
Give me a fellowship test then.
Okay.
Your voice breaks halfway through. It is not very convincing. I am Throne Agent Aaron.
Turn on, damn it! All right. I'll come back to this. So we go back to the bedroom and check the like the nightstands and whatnot. See if I can find anything.
There's a very nice bottle of Amasec in one.
Yeah.
Some reading material.
All right. Bottle of Amasec might come in handy.
Yeah, the reading material is actually in books, not like data slates. They're very
Okay.
well read, like worn books. They appear to be in a dialect of High Gothic.
Sure.
You're not quite familiar with it?
But there are no data slates or manifests.
No, not in the nightstands. I mean, like it's a normal bedroom, so there's like wardrobes, there's a
Right.
cupboard.
Yeah, I would want to check I would want to check everything that opens.
As you open the wardrobe, you actually spot a full set of like plate armor, like gilded plate armor. And like there's a big broadsword there as well. And you sort of like rummage around through various desks, and you know, there's nothing that jumps out. There's a lot of clothes,
Okay.
a lot of fine clothes.
All right. I'm gonna get on the microbeam and say, hey guys, I found a cogitator, but I'm seem unable to get it to start working. Do you does anybody happen to know passwords that the old man used?
No one knows.
No?
Does anybody have security other than me? Because it would be hilarious if the only guy with security just started transporting people.
Yeah,
Dot,
that's what I'm
dot.
thinking. Oh my gosh.
Nope.
To be fair, I have so many skills.
I have a lot of skills, but security is not one of them.
Yeah.
So I will go back to the other team who have. So I assume you're going to make your way to the open cargo container.
Yes,
Yeah.
with the Auspic's help.
Yeah.
Give me blah, 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 blah. Give me a tech use test then, Bolter. And can I have a Sinisians test from the Psychics?
Any modifier?
Just your normal modifiers.
Okay.
So yeah, you are all detecting that strange. Well, you're detecting that strange warp energy. It's starting to. What's odd is that It's not as strong as it was before. It seems to have.
Weakened.
It's like, yeah, it's like it's acquiring warp energy at the same rate as you felt before, but it's far weaker now. You crack open the container's door, peering in. There are a number of boxes. They seem to be strange. They're like covered in odd patterns and gilded. Every single box has been broken open. You cannot see to the back of the container because there is a wall of broken boxes between you and the back.
Were these? I guess sort of. My question is: were these boxes open from the inside or the outside?
They look like they've been opened from the outside, and they look like they've been opened from the outside with a lot of
Force.
force. Yeah, like
Is
someone
there
did not
anything-
care about the boxes; they broke them.
Is there anything left in the boxes?
No.
Guess so.
As you sort of are looking around and various things, can the rest of the party just give me a awareness test as well, for just reference sake?
Who's the rest of the party? All of us?
Everyone but Zetar and
Here's
Icarus. Yes.
Yeah.
So Zetar is busy doing Zetar things, and Icarus is being the smart noble and not being in the situation of a firing.
Look, I saw where this was going, and I had the right opportunity to transfer people.
I mean,
Where's your
yes,
sense of adventure? Violence solves everything.
Look, remember, guys, you're in a cargo bay. Just vent everything if it goes wrong.
So yeah, as you're like looking around, you now notice there's dark marks on the floor, dried blood.
okay.
They
I'm
lead
not
to-
surprised.
They seem to be drag marks that lead to the back of the chamber.
Mhm. Good. So that is the area we want to avoid.
Are you going back then?
Hmm?
You gonna go back then?
Well, no, there's just the artifacts we need that might be. I think they are in that direction, maybe. We don't know where they are exactly. Right?
This is your cargo bay. If you don't know where the artifacts are, I know that the pile of corpses that forms then we will point down to see drag marks. I know from this I can tell that the pile of corpses in which the creature is being prepared to hatch is in that direction. Point to basically along the drag marks, the back of the ship. And this is an area we do not want to be in.
So what do we do?
We take everything we can without going there.
For reference, this container is massive. It's about 10 meters wide by 10 meters tall by about 40 meters long, and there's a number of these containers, like, in the various cargo holds. Argilus and Sylphia. Yeah, I will eventually get round to pronouncing names right and not like an idiot. You would know that this particular container was picked on a mining world.
So, whatever was in this came from a mining world.
A mining world named Heros?
No.
Okay.
It was a mining world named insert numbers letters here.
We found those monsters, creatures, on a different mining world before.
And
So, they're native to mining worlds. Interesting.
They are not native to any worlds of Yennefer.
also
They
for
are an
reference,
invasive species.
it's not the one that the party went to before. It's not TS, etc., etc., etc. It's not that Frozen Frontier world. Before someone asks.
So, because you asked, I will ask. Is it that world?
No. No. I was asking you for the I was saying for the benefit of my players, because I said a world with numbers and letters. They were recently on a planet with with the same class naming scheme. So there wasn't confusion. So yeah. What do you do?
Wait, the drag marks lead to the back of the container, not
Yes.
the back of the cargo bay.
No.
Okay. I will turn to Skytia and Angelus. Do you have equipment to seal this cargo container? So we
Sure.
at least have a warning before this creature breaks free.
I'm sure there is stuff here we can use to seal it up.
Yeah.
It's called big.
You're on a
Can
void ship.
do so.
I was gonna say you're on a void ship, so you could just ask the crew to seal the container.
Okay.
But they will see the
Yeah.
dry blood.
Hmm?
They would see the dry blood.
I mean, you could ask the crew for the equipment to seal the container and seal it yourself.
No, I yeah, I will go ask the crew to seal the container up.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, you leave the container. It's a sort of a small team comes along and starts welding the door shut.
Hmm.
What do
Yes.
you do next? This is probably about the time you get boxed over by Icarus.
Okay. And let's see, Icarus. What was the Just get a quick recap.
Icarus was voxing you because he had found the cogitator in the desk, but he couldn't access it.
Hmm.
One second, let me have a look at the character sheets. Let me look in the graveyard. Bum.
So, just a heads up, I might have to disappear in half an hour
Okay,
for like 15 minutes to eat.
that's fine. What time is it now? It's 7. I will be wrapping this up in the next... Is it usually the next hour I wrap this up in? I think that's the next hour.
Okay.
But I can't remember now. My brain's like a little bit frazzled, and I can't remember if I wrap it up in the next hour or the next 2 hours.
Razzle dazzle.
Grey and or Serene,
Mm-hmm.
do I normally wrap it up? When do I normally wrap it up by?
About an hour and 5, I think.
Yeah.
Is it an hour and 5? Yeah, okay. So yeah, when you go, we'll probably wrap it up then.
Sorry.
Oh,
No,
no big.
it's fine.
Yeah, just that.
So yeah, Romulus and Ren, along with Julian, are the 3 acolytes of the cell who have decided to be NPCs now. Romulus and Ren both say they could probably get into it and will head up to the quarters. Julian just kind of follows them because he's not suicidal. What do the remaining 4 of you? Oh, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 4 of you do.
So from that roll earlier, how many of those signatures did I detect? If I detected a number of them.
You originally detected about a dozen. As you stretch your mind out again, and you're closer, you realise that there's about 2 dozen now. And that...
Oh shit.
that some of them... They're flexing in strength. Some of them have definitely gotten stronger. Some of the ones you thought were stronger, have moved or disappeared.
I informed the rest of the party this. So before I thought there was this many. Now there's actually this many, and some of them are not here in the cargo hold anymore.
This is bad. Where have they moved?
Well, there's the thing. The ones when I say they moved, the strong signatures there.
Okay,
Yeah.
Oh, they're still in the cargo hold.
signatures that were stronger are now weaker, and so basically it has shifted around.
Mhm.
Okay.
If I'm understanding
let
that
me-
right.
Yeah, no. Let me get my thoughts together for a second and explain this properly, because I think I've confused myself. Okay. So originally there was about half a dozen signatures, and they were of various strengths.
Mhm.
Now there are 24 signatures. However, you were certain that there was signatures here before in this container, or around this area. It's like you have to make an educated guess, but when you were on the bridge, you thought there was at least one signature here. And that signature is gone. At least it's not like easy to detect. Yes. The 24 again are of various strengths. That is correct, Ring. Does that make sense?
Yes,
Mhm.
that makes perfect sense.
As you're stretching your mind out, you remember that there were 2 on the bridge, and so you check on them, seeing as that you've seen these shifted ones. You feel them. They're really, really strong, and then suddenly, they're gone.
Oh, fuck. So yes, and the signatures on the bridge are now gone.
Delicious.
This is bad.
Now, are you seeing all this on the microbeads?
Yeah.
Do you detect those signatures anywhere else?
Well, maybe they left and we have no problems then.
If you cannot detect them anywhere, you have an even bigger problem. Because then you have a monster you can't find.
Okay. I should explain this to the psychers. This is really, really easy to pick up because it's so unusual. You don't usually feel like ripples in the warp as energy is drawn to a single point. Now, a cyclic entity you could still probably detect within reason, within a reasonable distance.
Mhm.
So, but just to explain that concept, so
Mhm.
before someone calls BS on it.
BS.
Okay.
So what happened is they have hatched.
Oh,
Well,
absolutely great.
yep.
We're all going to die.
You're not here, so that's fine, right?
Oh yeah, most definitely. And even when I am there, this is delicious because I love dying. It's my favorite pastime.
Well,
I have a
Well,
question. Do these things die to void exposure?
we did never have the chance to try that.
Well, I feel like that now you have the chance to do it.
You saying this makes me think, yes. And a void ship does have void suits and mag boots if there would be quick hull repairs.
Yes,
Okay,
there are void
well,
ships. There are
what-
void ships, my boots on the ship.
What I was going with actually was to get the crew off the ship, and we void it, and we basically we'll keep a ship, and we'll keep ships in patrol to keep an eye out for anything. And then after some time, we will have a heavily armed team go in and sweep the ship.
The cogitator is built into the desk.
Bring the desk with your 28 strength.
Do you have an axe?
There was that broadsword in the cupboard. Don't forget about that thing.
That's a broadsword, not an axe.
Look, you
Can
can make anything work
probably-
in time of desperation.
Yeah. Can probably still be used for chopping. Depends on Icarus weapon skill.
Oh, I don't have. I have a las gun. That's the word. I mean, I'm sorry. No, I don't have a las gun. I have a las pistol.
Yeah.
Oh, would you like me to come back on board and give you my shock maul? Maybe you can smash it and stun it to death. Get the cogitator out.
Actually, I could punch it with my gauntlet and shock it, but I'm not trying to shock it. I just want to take it out because if I can't get into it, maybe somebody else can. So I'm just
I'm
trying
gonna bring my shotgun.
At this point, it sounds like my claws were being more useful.
Ooh, no wait, I don't have a shotgun, I have a hand cannon. I have
Yeah.
a next best thing. I have a lock punch and a hallucinogen grenade. You think you can smoke that desk up before you punch the shit out of it?
No, that's not going to help.
Who are
It's
you?
an idea.
Who are you, Twitch?
Why is it my Twitch? Yeah?
I'm Zetar. Crazy little Xeno friend.
So, out of our head, would we know, like, a single, like, from our last artifact we recovered, would we know where we stored them?
What do you mean?
Like, we recovered several artifacts.
Yes.
Well, would we have known in which cargo hold we stored the last one we recovered?
The last one you recovered would have been on next cargo holdover.
Then we shall go over there and recover at least that artifact.
Mhm.
Because our resident nobility has seeming to have problems finding a simple manifest.
So you head into the next cargo hold. Like some of the containers just contain like spare parts or food or stuff like that. But you know there is one here of interest. You approach it. The door is still sealed.
I use the auspics to check if there's weird readings inside of it.
Sorry, I don't know what that yawn was.
Wow. It's like somebody's inside the container.
Yeah, that was me yawning for some reason.
Take use for the auspics.
Mhm.
You know what? I'm gonna spend a fate point. I have 3, so
You detect that there is actually a metal box here.
Astounding.
clearly a metal box.
Definitely just a metal box.
Oh wait, I'm detecting something else. It's not a metal box. It's a steel box.
Astounding.
He knows the exact makeup
Oh,
of
man.
it.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have detected there is a metal box. Can the rest of the party give me an awareness test, please? Just
A
for
what test?
Awareness.
Awareness. This time I don't see it.
Modifiers?
Well, Xitter, you aren't in.
Did not specify, still gave it, damn it. One of the people I'm transporting is doing something fishy in the backseat, don't worry about it.
Xavier, Zetar is aware that, like,
Whoa!
he is...
Xavier's on my ship, fuck!
You're not dead.
Void the ship! Void it!
No, you did. Also, that wouldn't kill Xavier.
Yeah. I'm afraid that would rather kill you than Xavier.
Hey, his ass can
Oh.
fucking float.
Stop, yeah.
Yeah,
Was I supposed to roll science?
Rachel, Fabia can roll her awareness off her Soniscience. She has
Oh, okay.
something that allows that.
Warp awareness.
That's the one.
Yeah.
So she can use Soniscience instead of normal awareness, so
It's a astropath thing, I'm pretty sure.
that's probably it.
Because my astropath has it.
Oh,
In another
I
campaign.
have warp sense.
Does it warp sense?
I picked up warp sense.
Alright, it's not a Mastercraft thing. There you go. Warp something.
So,
Walk around.
while the rest of the party is
Oh,
on...
it's okay.
Yeah, the rest of the party is on high alert and looking out for big scary things to jump them. Flavia, you realise something's odd. There is a fine mist off this container. Almost as like it's being frozen. Not frozen, like, there is a large amount of energy being put into keeping this container cold. You also hear a slight hum coming from it.
Okay, this is not good. Yeah.
So, what do you guys do?
I trust the mistress on her judgment. This is not good.
Okay.
Let's
Box is not
leave.
good.
Box is not good. Let's leave this box to its own and possibly explosive devices.
Vinton, get the fuck out of here.
Yes.
You are aware you're meant to be securing the most dangerous of cargoes, right?
Yes.
Most dangerous? Well,
You're not trying to secure a box of flipping, like, pigeons or whatever.
yes.
So I will actually open it if I can.
Like,
This is
I'm,
what I'm glad
I'm
I'm
sorry,
not
my mind kind of... This isn't from the mining world.
Okay. Yeah, but
It's from a hive vault.
okay, fair enough.
Like,
I don't trust it.
I'm trying to work out what your goal is, because apparently it's changed.
Mine is to get the artifacts. I guess his is like, get out of here.
You blame him. Paranoia.
Well, I'm willing to like get artifacts that we can at the same time. It just seems like that with this Xenos that that we have to worry about and deal with. I would rather not stay around any much longer.
Yeah, that's so,
Despite wanting to study it, I have no intention of staying. Given given what the party members have described.
I've never actually described a fully grown one, because as soon as I went to, the party went
Oh,
no
fuck.
and ran away.
I really want the next session to be a mook party that comes into the ship.
So you described the baby one. That was quite enough.
I want to serve an adult.
But I'm actually curious. I'm interested in this. I want to study biology.
So you open the container. Does anyone actually stop Agnes?
No, it's in the end it's his artifact. I just stretch my claws out, just in case.
You open the container. Inside is another container. However, you note this one is well, the other one was sort of a normal transport container. The second one, this one, is a refrigerator one.
Mm-hmm.
So
You
that-
open that.
Yes, because that would be the thing that's required power, and it would be something that needs to be cooled.
Yes. As you open the door, like a thin mist rolls out, and the hum becomes much more audible. Everyone notices it. So you open the second one. Inside are a number of stasis tubes. The glass. Oh, you assume they're stasis tubes of some description. They're tall cylinders. The glass is so frosted it's white, but you can see the shadows of figures inside. There's probably a few dozen in here, in total.
Okay, so I will back out and close the second container again. Make it fridge again. So we probably there is like a device that transports these containers from here to wherever they're loaded into from. And we
You
probably
have, you have 2 heavy-duty transport ships designed for carrying these. They can carry one of these containers at once.
yes,
Are there cranes too?
yes, that's what I meant. I meant for a crane to put it into the ship, or like a forklift.
Not really, because these containers are 10 meters wide by 10 meters tall by 30 meters deep. The
Yeah,
ship
but-
itself comes in, sort of hovers, lowers down its cranes to pick it up, pulls it into its own cargo hold, and then flies out.
Okay,
Oh, okay.
so we need a pilot for one of those cargo ships, and then we'll come over here and fly this out.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Do any
mark
of you
it,
have
radio it
operate
in.
aeronautica?
Does anyone of you can fly plane?
I can drive, not fly.
Zetar.
Operate aeronautica would be required.
Zetar.
Yes, Cetar, we all know you can fly. Shut up.
Yeah, but if
Zetar's
you
not here.
are
Yeah,
if you are
chauffeurs
our
are
only pilot, then we are sort of screwed.
You could ask.
I
the crew.
mean, yeah, you could ask the crew.
Yes.
Well, just because you've never done a thing doesn't mean you can't succeed at it.
Mhm. I mean, sure, I can try.
Yes, you could try, or you could crash a ship. So
Yeah.
probably there is still some crew alive left here, and we should ask him indeed.
Mhm.
So yeah, as you go to ask the crew, it's about this time that you hear a number of shouts and screams from the 3 members that weren't up to the upper decks. They shout and scream and fire their guns on the rocks. You hear one of them like, "Contact! Contact! It's the beast!" That's probably Ren actually that shouts that.
Of the 3, only Julian would have seen those beasts before.
Oh yeah, Ren probably shouts, "What the fuck are those things? Ah!" I don't want to shout because my window's open, and I don't want to just.
And
scare
people would
them.
look strangely at your window, like, "Oh no, what's going on in there?"
Yeah, and there's a bunch of students across my back lawn, not on my back lawn, the other side. So,
They have
so
hatched.
yeah, they all shout and scream. Julian, you do hear Julian shouts, "They're awakens! It's them!" And then they all die horribly.
The end.
The end.
Okay.
Mhm.
Icarus, have I exhausted all means to get this cogitator running
To
at my
your-
disposal?
Yeah, to your hands, yes.
Okay. Then I see no reason to stay here. I can't get the cogitator itself out. So I am just going to head on over to the docking station, which is, I'm assuming, where the
No.
shuttle's going to be coming back.
What route are you taking?
The most direct one, to my knowledge.
So you mean the one where all the screaming and dying and the NPCs getting themselves killed came from?
Is it the shuttle going into the cargo bay?
Well, they just came from the cargo bay. To get to the shuttle, which is for the cargo bay, you need to get.
No. I'm getting ready to wait for the our savior pilot to return.
Oh, you're going to that one. No, that's a slightly different route.
Okay.
It's near, but it's not like.
And I will have my my last pistol out, and I'll be like head on a swivel. Oh shit!
Oh shit.
I do. I go to. All right. I go to my quarters and I put on my armor that I have never actually worn before.
Okay.
Oh fuck.
Because I was going to say, if you lose a ship, you lose the armor because it's in storage on the ship.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
My
I'm gonna
research.
I'm going to put on
I mean,
my
you could go
my fabled armor that I'm not very good at, and it's going to slow me down a little bit. because it's quite heavy for me.
What
But,
armor would you be wearing? Jesus.
It is like carapace armor.
Oh, it's
Oh,
not that heavy.
the issue isn't the armor. The issue is like he's a scrawny admin clerk.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Exactly.
Wow.
My total carrying capacity is 18 kilograms, and the armor weighs 15.
Look, you might be tougher than me, but I've got more muscles than you. I have 21 toughness, but I have 38 strength.
All right.
So yeah, I'm gonna say about this time, Zetar returns.
Oh, bitches.
Let's.
Now, are you returning with your ship, or are you gonna try and get a different ship?
I'll try to get one that can carry more stuff. I'm not gonna risk my baby.
Yeah.
Plus,
so,
my baby is small.
So yeah, you get a slightly bigger transporter. And you return to the ship. What would you like to do?
Do I know anything that's going on?
No.
Alright, first things first, I'll try my combi, because I have no idea what any of the layout of this ship is. I'm like, Zangu. Anybody that's not Julian.
I'm here. The Noble failed to get the cargo manifesto. The other guys have no clue. The beast has hatched.
Oh, I should have taken long. I brought a bigger ship, though.
Get as many of the people out here as you can. We make our way to the docking bay.
Okay.
I
You want me to set up kind of defense perimeter? They have hatched. Or do you want me to just sit in the ship and just order people to get in?
Form a defensive perimeter. We try to join up with you. If you hear me screaming, leave.
Don't have to tell me twice on that one. You've told me these things can take bolter shells. I have a hand cannon. Is there anybody in the docking bay?
Yeah, there's a handful of people. Like, they're sort of like, you know, repair crews and stuff. Not like anyone important.
I'm gonna walk up to any of them that look like they might be of higher rank in the repair crew, and I'll ask him if he knows where like any type of intercom would be, so that I can maybe get a hold of any type of defense crew.
He points to the control panel next to the door.
I go up to it and I'll try to find any frequency that has the defense crew. If I can't find one, I'll ask one of the PCs.
Give me an intelligence test.
Any bonuses?
Just straight intelligence.
I fade it. Damn it.
Much better. So the first channel you pick up seems to be for the one of the Auspex spires. One of the ship spires, and all you hear is screaming.
Yep.
Blood-curdling screaming.
You guys are having the party. Next channel.
Next channel is it sounds like someone picks up and it's like someone out of breath. Yeah. What can I do?
Is this the defense crew on this ship?
Yeah, this is security. What the hell do you want?
Get everybody to docking bay, blah blah blah. We're setting up a defense perimeter and leaving.
Why didn't we just sound an evacuation?
That's part of leaving. We have to set up a defense perimeter so the remaining acolytes on the ship can get off.
Very, very well.
How many of there are you? Do you know?
His team. Maybe 2 dozen. That can get there within reason.
Alright, if you're able to let any other security know, I'm gonna keep flicking through the channels.
Roger. He flicks off. A few moments later, you hear another sound. It's a different alarm. This is an alarm that none of you have heard before. Evacuate ship.
Yep.
Yes.
A general evacuation order has been issued. Zeta, a few minutes later, about 5 people, like 5 armsmen, sort of like pile into the hangar bay, like pointing at the door. The repair crews are like kind of huddling together, and they're like eyeing up your ship, the shuttle you've got.
Do these guys look like just general grunts, or do they look like...
Yeah, they're general grunts.
Is that the direction that Zangu and them will be coming from?
Yes. Wait, okay. So there is one main door into this room.
Yeah.
The armsmen are currently pointing their shotguns at it. They have their backs to their repair crew. The repair crew have kind of huddled up, sort of away. Your shuttle is the only... no, there's 2 shuttles in here. There's your shuttle, and then there's the big hangar shuttle. The when I say hangar shuttle, it's the big cargo shuttle that they use. The repair crew seem to be eyeing up your shuttle. Your shuttle is a much longer distance transport.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Is there any other entrances to this room? Or is it just the main entrance?
I mean, there's vents and, like, service corridors, but, like, nothing big.
Okay. I'm gonna look at the repair crew. It's like, you guys want to survive this, right?
They all, like, look at each other and nod. Yeah?
Alright. Do me a favor. Any vents you see, please seal them up as best as you can, and any supply corridors that we aren't using right now, please block off.
They all glance around and kind of go, shrug and go, sure, and scatter.
Alright, I'm gonna pull off my hand cannon and go up to the guards. How many are following you? Do you know? Or are you just freaking out?
No, we're the first. There's more coming.
Alright. Any of the strange beasts? Please say no.
We haven't seen any.
Perfect.
From what I've gathered, if someone's seen something, they're dead.
Alright. Is there any boxes around?
Yeah, there's like storage boxes and like little scooters and not the scooters, but you know, like the cherry pickers
Dollies.
and stuff. Yeah, dollies and cherry pickers and stuff.
There's 5 of them.
5 guards, yeah.
One of you help me move boxes. We're setting up a defensive perimeter.
Yeah, sure. One of them like size shoulders his shotgun and like starts helping you.
Yep. I'm gonna try to create a bottleneck that if anything comes through, it has to come towards us. I don't care about giving us cover from fire, because as far as I know, these things don't have guns. I'm just aiming to set up a bottleneck.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. I shall now jump back to Icarus.
Yes.
You're making your way through the corridors, and you're, trying to get to the hangar bay where Zeta is.
Mm-hmm.
You turn a corridor, and you see just 3 bloody splatters down the hallway.
Okay. I get real quiet, although I'm probably hyperventilating at this point. Get on my comms. I see 3. Well, I guess they used to be people. Just splatters of blood. And I try to give a location of where I am in relation to the shuttle bay.
You're decently close.
Watch your back and get out of there.
An educated guess might put you in the same corridor as where the other 3 party members went down.
Oh, the 3 that are dead?
Yeah.
No.
They are very dead if they run into one of those things.
They're
They never stood a chance levels of they're very dead.
Okay. So can I pull up a map of the ship and try to find an alternate route?
You can. The problem is, you do sooner or later, like, as I said before, there is only one way in or out of that hangar bay.
Oh, right. Well, I'm trying to go to the shuttle bay where our shuttle
sorry.
is.
Sorry, there's only one way in or out of that shuttle bay. Now, if you wanted to, you could try and just bail, like an escape pod, but then you're gambling.
Right. Well, I'm gambling either way. So, let's gamble with not the escape pod. I will try to sneak down the corridor, going as quietly as I can in this armor that's too heavy for me.
I'm going to have to go, guys.
Okay, cool.
Okay, see ya.
Take
Alright.
care.
Probably
Yeah,
gonna
sure.
wrap this up soon.
Yeah, we got about 30 minutes more.
Yeah. Stealth test?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, stealth test, yes. That was me. You're speaking to. Hang on.
Not a staff test to leave.
I would tell you to run like an Arcula, but I doubt you can manage.
Mm.
So, I'm going to spend a fate point on that.
Sure.
So I should have spent a fate point to get that damn cogitator, but oh, I forgot it.
In the world is not.
Yeah.
There we go.
Hey!
Yeah.
Yeah, for a moment you're going to step forward, and you see, like rust filings on the floor, and you're like, hang on a sec, that's gonna make a lot of noise. And so you start picking your steps very, very carefully. When you get to the blood spatters, you see, there's a rifle, some sort of exotic rifle that's being split in two. There is, a cane, the cane Julian was wielding. That's smoking. It seems to have been some sort of bolt weapon.
Oh,
There are
okay.
dozens of casings on the floor. Yeah, a crumpled hat from Julian.
do I recognize these guys as from the conference room?
There's no bodies.
Oh,
There's
You,
just
you
pieces of
probably
equipment.
recognize the hat. It was
Yeah.
pretty outlandish.
Yeah, you do recognize the hats.
oh, I think I found the some of
Right.
our visitors. Fancy hat, weird cane, strange gun.
Stop talking, run.
Keep going.
Okay.
And I turned to the group. Well, he would hear that on the microbeat, and we run as well.
I need
Whatever you are carrying is not worth your lives.
But my research.
Fuck your research.
Well, at least I got the boss's in a sec.
Priority.
I try and get a hold of the Engine Seer Prime
Mm-hmm.
to basically like inform him of exactly what's going on. And basically like, you know, if he's alive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he responds. He says, yes.
Yeah.
I'm busy.
So, I ask him if he like, are the members of how organic are the members of the tech priesthood on the ship?
It varies from tech priest to tech priest. Some can be
'Cause I
very
am-
organic. Yeah, they're just generalized.
Yeah, because I basically inform him of what we are doing. I offer him the chance to evacuate ship. If not, I inform him that the ship is going to be voided, and basically, for all intents and purposes, abandoned. If he wants to stay, I will inform him of exactly what he'll be dealing with.
Oh, hello. As my Discord pops out. Hello?
Yeah, praise the Omnicide Wells in.
Sorry, I missed about half that because my Discord decided to freeze.
Basically, I inform the Engine Seer Prime the situation, the fact that we are evacuating ship, and basically give him the choice of leaving the ship and guaranteeing survival, or staying with the ship and more than likely dying more than likely dying in the service of the Messiah.
He goes, I doubt any of you know the rites of voiding.
No, we don't.
He sighs again. Very well, then my choice is already made. There is a small salvation pod. Not even pod, a small salvation chamber. I shall try and hold up there with several of my crew. If you can, I would love to be rescued, but I knew the risk when the agent stepped on board our ship. Praise the Messiah. And he ends the call.
Praise the Messiah.
He ends the call. And a few times he will not respond.
Yeah.
And I just say a quick prayer to the Emperor to guide him and ensure and that his will be done.
Yeah. So you are all now running for the hangar bay.
Yes.
So yeah, the
If my cabin is along the way, I will make a quick stop to just grab the few important things. I can leave the rest.
now
Damn it.
how out of the way are you willing to go?
I will take that my chamber is out of the way.
Yes. Well, it's definitely not on the route because your chamber is kind of isolated. Is the thing. So that
Okay,
didn't
then
know that.
yeah, fuck it.
Yeah, leave that for the poor team that has to come back in here.
I urge them to take the shortest way out.
Yeah. So first off, Icarus, you arrive in the hangar bay. When you do, you see Zeta with about a dozen security crew now. And then they're sort of like all barricading. There's other, well, most of the security crew are aiming down this slowly getting longer corridor of boxes and barricades and stuff. As the repair crews, several repair crewmen have rushed in here and barricading things. You see the junior officer. He kind of glances around and just ushers. He's next to the door and ushers you in. He's seems to be a naval pistol in hand, waiting. So you rush in. You see Seitan. He's making a longer and longer tunnel.
Oh yeah, full on Arcula tactics. Coming through my tunnel, bitch.
Yeah.
He's probably got a hand cannon on his tail, his tail's wrapped around it, ready to just toss it to his hands. So, hurry up! Come on, stop wasting time. Help me with barricades.
What do you do? Icarus. He is frozen in terror.
He's still not used to seeing little kobolds.
Hello?
Hello? Who are you speaking to?
You.
Oh, yes, I'm running. I'm looking as fast as I can.
No. You. Yeah. When I say you got into the hangar, you saw the barricade, the tunnel.
All right. Yeah, I run to the barricade and get behind it.
Okay.
Yes. Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry.
Help with the barricade, come on. If they come through, we want this to be as most annoying for them as possible.
I'm so tired. I've been running for a couple minutes.
Are you dead?
I don't think
You don't
so.
look dead. Well, then you're helping with barricades. That is not a suggestion.
Well, and you saw when I was
Exactly.
running, I wasn't sprinting so much as I was just
Waddling.
waddling. Yes, I was waddling very fast in
Yeah.
your direction.
We have two different definitions of fast. I'll take your word for it. Help with the barricades or grab a gun.
I have a pistol.
That's not big enough. Help with the barricades, trust me. If these things can take bolt shells, unless the thing you're holding as a pistol is some type of bolt weaponry, don't be on the front lines. That's their job.
Well, yeah, no, I'm not going to be on the front lines.
This time, the
That's
junior
what conscripts are for.
about this time, the junior officer spots the rest of the party. running, and he like gestures like, "Come on, come on!" He then turns, looks down on the side hole, the other direction. Goes, "Shit!" Points his pistol and pots off 2 shots. What does the rest of the party do? That is Rachel. No, I'm going to say it now properly in character. Is Flavia, Zenga, Agius, and Skitya. Gosh.
So he sees us and he just looks down another corridor and he starts firing.
Yeah, he's fired off 2 shots. And shouts, "Come on, move!"
Yeah.
I'm
urge
bolting.
him to run.
As soon as all 4 of you are through, he hits the door controls. You do all see a shadow, and it is fast. It slams into the doors and instantly buckles it.
Shit.
Into the ship. Move.
Okay.
You heard the man?
Icarus goes onto the ship.
Oh yeah. Being by far the fastest, I'm probably already in the cockpit. Because I move 48 and then run.
Yeah. This creature
I'm pretty sure you ran the moment the shots went off.
I'm not a coward. I just don't want to be fighting that thing.
This creature doesn't seem stunned by running into the door, and as you're running, I imagine Zeta can see this. You see 2 claws slam through the door, and start to pry open the door. Just like tearing it apart like it's butter.
Flick. Oh, this ship's going on. That door's going down. This ship is coming on faster.
Yeah. All the armsmen just open fire instantly. Several try and run. The first on are the party. What do you do?
Go!
Do you wait for the armsmen?
I'm going to start swinging the ship around in a way that the thrusters won't hit the guardsmen, so that they have a chance to get on. I'm gonna give them a few seconds.
Give me an operate aeronautica.
Okay.
Because it's an unusual maneuver to try.
Yeah. Any bonuses from the ship's maneuverability or anything like that?
Plus 10.
Okay. 49, target 60.
Yep. You sort of do that. Like 2 of the rattlings and like the armsman which basically broke as soon as they saw the shadow, the dents, managed to make it on. You hit at this point the door. Those of you who can see it, the door bursts open, and you see the first of the creatures. It's not even you don't even see it, it's just a shape. And it just slams into the guard line. They are pretty much all dead instantly. Like about the 7 or 8 that are like on the guard line, they're all cut apart to ribbons in a spray of blood. Zeta, do you close the door?
Anybody else coming? They got like 2 seconds.
Nope. Go.
Zeta.
Door shut.
No. Yeah, I was gonna say you can't leave with the door open.
No, what I was saying is they got 2 seconds to get on before that door shuts. I wasn't saying they got 2 seconds and we're leaving with the door open. No, that's stupid.
Okay.
If they tell me that there is nobody coming, like it's in like a 2-second move, then the door's shutting.
Nobody's coming.
Door shuts.
Someone slams
Punch
into
it.
the door. Ah! And then the punch. It's punched. The engine, the hold is bathed in fire. You, one or two of you think you spot the shape of the creature. Doesn't seem dead. Whereas everything else in that hangar bay was instantly roasted. As you're pulling away from the ship, you can see. You can physically see like gusts of wind leave from various points as the rites of avoiding are commenced across the hull. No, you didn't, because I don't think Zetar even got into that ship.
No.
No.
you didn't.
No, I was not told about it, so I did not
No.
prep for it.
No.
All I knew is that when I got on that ship, people were dying. They had hatched. I was set up a defensive prison. Set up
defensive perimeter.
that, and we're leaving. I was not told to prep to get a cargo.
Low Gothic is not the Xeno's first language.
No, I'm used to various forms of hisses, growls, and other words involving those various things.
So yeah. And that is where I think I'll end this first session.
Alright.
Yeah, how do you guys enjoy that?
Very much.
I like that a lot.
Very tense.
Oh yeah.
I liked it.
Yes,
I did
That's
kind of
gonna
think
be
as I said before, I like running this like it's a movie.
Before I had to go for like 50 minutes, I was really into it. I was really like, okay, they're in the wall, they're coming closer. We need to get out, but we need this. Okay, what do we do? What do we do?
Yeah, like, so yeah, I think I like the idea of maybe next session you guys playing mooks, going into sweep. Because I think that would be a nice way to conclude this little story arc, and then after I go away on the cruise, I can come back and do a proper investigation, as opposed to starting one next week and then having a 2-week break.
Fair
Sounds
I
good.
already know I'm basically gonna make a white end.
That's fine.
Just
Yeah.
pirate captain out the ass.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine.
So yeah, I like to do a vote. As players who are familiar with my games, the vote, every person votes for the player they thought was for whatever reason. It could be the most interesting, the best role played, an amazing bit of luck, pity, whatever. I don't actually care. So, Balto, who did you vote for? Oh, and you also can't vote for yourself because that's stupid. Balto.
I think I'm going to vote for Icarus
Chris? Okay.
for being the stuck-up high noble he is.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
Fucking just
Grey?
replace Julian.
Great.
Well,
Great. Who are you voting for?
Hmm?
Who are you voting for?
I think I'll vote for Balto.
Rachel? Who are you voting for? 2 for Balto. Swimmer?
I'll vote for Balto.
Icarus?
I would. I think I want to vote for, and I'm sorry I don't recall all the names of the characters. The one that was in the cargo bay that kind of knew of the creatures and whatnot.
Zango.
Great. Thank
Yeah.
you. Great.
Okay.
Great character. And Serene, who did you vote for?
Vote for Zango.
Balto, you got 3 votes.
Yay!
So you get 50 extra HP. And everyone gets 100.
Awesome.
Hey.
Wait, so he only gets 50 and we all get 100?
No,
No,
you
no.
will get 100. He gets an extra 50.
Oh, okay.
So the vote is sort of like, you want to stand out so you can get the votes, so you get that little bit extra XP.
Cool.
It's a way I encourage role playing and being out there. So
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Balto is one of my players from my other campaign, so I was quite glad to have him.
I'm also in a campaign with Sean.
Yeah, we're in a D&D campaign together.
And I
Balto
actually
is-
was once in a game as a player with Sean DMs.
Yep.
Yes, Rachel, what is your question?
If you guys want to ask questions,
Scenic.
can go into the Guild of Promise, and I'm open for a scene if you want to talk to Zitar about stuff.
Basically, it
What
would
do you
be two people questioning you.
If you
Entertainment
just want to
stuff.
ask questions.
I would have to message me what you're actually looking at, and I would have to look into it.
It's an entire tree of psychic powers.
Yeah.
So
And
they
the-
are
The
generally
first one gives a
pretty
bonus to
useful.
initiative.
That could be.
Yeah.
I'd have to look into it. These aren't demons per se, but they're certainly some sort of warp-based beast, if that makes sense.
Yeah, if I remember right, most of the tree comes down to, do they have some form of corruption? If yes, then the powers do affect them.
I would say yes, these things class as some form of corruption.
There you go.
Because they're
Oh.
using literal crystals made of warp energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the Sanctuary actually might do something. That's your quick answer.
Yeah.
I'd have to go look at it. I'm sure someone will print screen or send me stuff at some point, and I can.
I'll do it here in a second. I have the books open. Let me just quick jump to them. Which one is in?
Beyond.
Beyond.
Yeah.
But yes, thank you everyone very much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed, and I shall see you next week. Bye.
Thank you.
Yep.
Before you leave,
Oh, I was trying to do an outro. I wasn't leaving.
Oh.
I do an outro to the stream, and then so
I
I'll do that again.
I didn't see that you were streaming, so sorry.
I did put that in my adverts.
Yeah.
No.
In
I didn't
multiple
see. No, under your name in Discord, it doesn't say you're streaming.
Oh, it doesn't. That is weird. What the hell? Oh well. Whatever.
Did you turn it off?
I might have turned it off. Yeah. Ooh. But yes,
Okay.
thank you very much everyone for watching. I hope you've enjoyed. I shall see you next week. Bye.
Bye.